We're getting more and more evidence, good news, about major economic turnaround under President Trump. In the first quarter, the economy grew by 1.5%. In the second quarter, it grew by 2.6%. And the S&P companies are together experiencing profit growth this quarter of 11% after last quarter being 15%. Record high profits not seen for many years, I think back 6 years. Consumer spending is up 5%. Real wages are up. So what's doing it? We haven't had a tax reform. We haven't had a stimulus package. We don't even have a health care bill. What's doing it? What's turning it around? To understand that and to understand why it's going to continue and grow, we have to first understand what Obama did. He flooded the country with money in the hopes that some of it would stick and would produce some economic growth, despite the headwinds he imposed on the economy of his regulations and climate change and beating up the utility companies and all kinds of environmental stuff. But the problem was that because the business climate was so adverse, made so by Washington, nobody spent it, lent it, or invested it. Household savings, that is to say paying down debt, rose by $500 billion. Bank balance sheets rose by $1 billion. Corporate cash rose by $2 billion. Nobody invested it. They put it under the mattress, often almost literally. And now that there is a new game in Washington, and there's obviously a loosening of those requirements, an unfreezing of the economic climate, that money is coming out of hiding and is being spent, invested, and lent. And it's causing the economic gears to shift back into active gear, active motion, and to begin to go. And it's based not so much on the specific policies that Trump is adopting, although those play a major role in restoring manufacturing and mining, certainly. But it's also because of just the changed attitude. You know that you're not going to be mousetrapped by some new regulation that will mean that you can't operate the plant you're just planning to build, or that the costs are going to be twice as high. And Trump's trade negotiations, really probably more his talking about them and jawboning them, have weakened the dollar and has improved our balance of trade substantially. So that when you combine that stuff, you're really looking at a new economic environment caused not so much by dollars stimulus, Obama did all of that, but by the psychological and economic change of the regulatory structure. And that is tremendously an achievement of President Trump's. Now, the media never noted the change in the first place, and therefore they're not understanding what's eventuated. And they're attributing, I think, to an act of God akin to parting the Red Sea. But in fact, it indicates how the government policies held back an economy straining to move ahead, stimulated beyond belief by a quadrupling of the money supply, but so strong with those ropes that it couldn't burst free. And now that they're loosened, it's really going hard. The danger is that there's probably some inflation around the corner, and that's something that we're going to have to deal with, because there's a lot of money out there floating around, and it can be very hard for the Fed to sop it up. But for the moment, Trump's stuff is really working, so cut him some slack on all the nonsense going on in Washington. Amid all of this, there's been a steady stream of executive orders and of congressional action repealing regulations, and those are having a tremendously positive effect. Now, 2 weeks from tomorrow, our new book, Rogue Spooks, The Intelligence War Against Donald Trump, comes out. And this really is a huge deal, because it really rebuts everything you're reading about this so-called illusion of collusion between the United States and Russia, between Putin and Trump. It explains how it came to be, how this dossier came to be developed, why it's phony, why it's wrong, how the leaks fanned the flames of this, and where they're planning to lead it, and how to counter it. It really is a manual to how to stop the coup d'etat that is going on now in the United States. A coup led not by the military-industrial complex, which we used to fear, but a new game in town, the Intel Media Complex. So please order your advance copy now. If you do that, I'll send you an autographed book. Just go to dickmorris.com and order it there, and we'll send you an autographed book or a book plate that you can put into the book. And it'll get us off to a really good start and really help the book's momentum, and I'd appreciate it. Thanks very much for watching.